Welcome back, listeners. My name is Larry Kallevig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Haven Financial Group, where we discuss all kinds of retirement topics every week. Have been for several years now, Kim, haven't we? I guess time flies. And, I want listeners to go to our website, havenfinancialgroup.com, or visit us, just give us a call at 612-504-8400. We have lots of classes, yes, even throughout the summer. Lots of educational classes at our education center, in the local library setting, community education, et cetera. And I'll just draw attention, they're all on the website. Numerous maximized Social Security and tax classes, Lakeville, New Prague, Inver Grove Heights over July. We have a really good one at Porter Creek in Burnsville, and a dinner workshop, which I do very few of per year. And it's kind of pretty much all the experts are in one room, from Lance Larson, our CPA, the investment team, the provision law, our partners with estate planning. We talk about all things related to retirement. Yep, Porter Creek, those are August 10th and the 13th. Dinner at 6 o'clock. Yes, we serve dinner, and we do very few of those. So I go to these classes. They're all educational. There's no cost to any of them, and numerous other ones as well that are coming up. So I encourage it. It's how we learn. Naturally, we're looking to build long-term relationships, which thankfully we've done. And when I say long-term, this month we're celebrating at Haven Financial Group our 11-year anniversary. Yep, 11 years since I opened up the doors, and we've added on 4 different times. And again, it's all through education and great clients. And then for those listening, maybe you don't have a partner and don't know if you have a partner, you don't have anybody you work with. We take all these topics extremely seriously, and that's why we discuss them every week. There's no cost for consultations to come in and visit with us, and, at big picture, and then narrow it down. And then we love to give back at Haven Financial Group. Our client appreciation events, maybe your folks that you work with or don't work with, they don't do these things. We do them 3 or 4 times a year. August 27th is our next at Charlie's on Prior Lake. Yep. The only restaurant on Prior Lake, and they close it down, and we're there. We have 2 different sessions. So if you're not having any fun with who you're partnering with, maybe you want a second opinion as well. Maybe that's not the incentive, but maybe you just want to come out and kick the tires and say, who are these guys?
Right.
You might be very surprised.
Yeah, I know that they would. So it's havenfinancialgroup.com. That's the website. Or you can call at 612-504-8400. We're talking about what you need to retire. And Larry just mentioned that they have some wonderful educational classes about Social Security. And Larry, we're going to talk more about just what you need to know about Social Security in our next segment. But this segment, I want to talk about the fact that, and you say this frequently, a lot of people think that they're going to depend on Social Security for their retirement needs. And I think that can be a very tight budget if that is the case. So beyond Social Security, which can certainly be a wonderful thing for a lot of people, it's sort of important to be thinking about other means by which you can draw income. So let's talk a little bit more about the importance of looking beyond Social Security, Social Security being a tool, but looking beyond that for retirement funding.
Yeah, we talk about mailbox money. What type of money is going to be coming in every week, a dependable paycheck? Where's it going to come from? And first thing people think of course, is Social Security. In my opinion, it's not going anywhere. There could be some reform that could be done. But yeah, that's great. But I ask the question oftentimes in my classes, is there anybody in here that wants to live solely on Social Security? And the answer should be no. Now, granted, last week I did have a couple in. Their Social Security was very good, and their expenses were so low that Social Security did provide for pretty much to cover all their expenses. Now, that's not the norm of what we see. And I'm sure you want to have a lifestyle. You still want to have fun. You maybe want to travel, the country club, whatever it may be. So what other income streams do you have that can complement Social Security? Maybe you're listening and you have a pension. One of few these days that may have a pension. You're going to really like that. So that 3-legged retirement stool, Social Security, pension. Oh, and then what about your retirement nest egg? How do you turn that into a monthly paycheck? Is it through dividends? or do I create some other way of creating income, maybe utilizing income annuities? Now, we won't get deep into this, but I think if you go to my website, I don't know the dates, but I teach the class of the truth about annuities about twice a year. Go to our website and havenfinancialgroup.com, because I can't tell you when I'm going to be teaching it, but I think it is on the calendar, because they can be utilized as a self-directed pension, turning your retirement nest egg into a certain amount of monthly income if it's appropriate. And I say if it's appropriate because oftentimes annuities, if they're used, because they don't have to be used, they can be used effectively for income. They can be used effectively for accumulation, long-term care, maybe it can be used for. They can be used for a variety of things, bond replacements, but oftentimes they're misused. And I had this couple in last week. He was in his low 80s, she was in her high 60s. There was an age, but they put together, they were savers. And of course, they had two variable annuities with income riders. They already have, if it's even possible, too much income. And when I say too much income, meaning more taxes. So the feature that they're paying for is a feature they're never, ever going to use. And they're paying for a feature they're never going to use. So getting educated, having somebody explain, whatever it is, explain to you why this maybe is a good idea. It creates income. Income is maybe a necessity. Maybe it's not going to be a necessity. Maybe it gives you some principal protection. Maybe it offsets inflation, because there's some fixed annuities or annuities out there that can have cost of living adjustments, increased income. Allianz is a local company, I'll tell you. They have some really good increasing income for those that are going to need kind of their own pension. And quite frankly, my wife, Rochelle, and I, we'll never have pensions. And so therefore, how do we create our own pension? These are the conversations that we're going to have. And why do we want to have these conversations? Because income is going to help you with your budgeting, the ease of budgeting. What can you afford every month comfortably? It's going to enhance your quality of life. Again, income, I will say this. We focus in the industry so much on how large is my portfolio. And that's great. It's important. It's extremely important. But I would say, what income are you going to have for the rest of your life if you're married, for you and your spouse or partner? That means more, because we have clients at Haven Financial Group that do not have big portfolios, because we have no minimums like some companies that only want, oh my goodness, if you're a big fish, that's all we want to deal with is a big fish. Well, I can tell you the small fish need as much help oftentimes as the big fish. Mm-hmm. But we have those that have lived very comfortably because they've saved, they have pensions, they have Social Security, not a big portfolio, and they live very comfortably because of mailbox monthly income. We have those that are high net worth, also high expenses, and there's a risk of outliving their money, mm-hmm. which is, by the way, the biggest question we get. Do we have enough money to retire, or when am I going to run out of money? Is it 95, never 75? Kind of important questions to ask as you look at retirement. And that's our job description, is to, okay, here you sit today. How long are you going to work? This is part of our process, by the way. And okay, based upon normal life expectancy, inflation, reasonable returns, because I always say some advisors in the industry are really good at puffing up numbers, and that's great. Not really. We want to be practical and realistic, okay? Because we would rather plan for the worst and hope and pray for the best. If the returns are better than we talked about, you and I we're going to be very happy. But if we plan for the sun, moon, and the stars and high every single year, that's not real. And if you're not being real when you're planning for retirement, that is what we would say a nautical theme. You might get off course in retirement, end up in completely the wrong spot, a spot you probably don't want to be in. And that's what we want you to avoid.
I think you'd end up in rough waters, right?
Yes, whitecaps.
Yeah, and that's not where you want to be. You pose some really interesting questions too, questions that I think that people who don't retire, over and over again, don't know to ask. And that's why it's so important to have a partner to talk through these situations, to make sure that you're taking the kind of steps that don't cause you problems down the road. And you want to take those steps now versus learning about those steps when you get into those rough waters. So we're suggesting you call the folks at Haven Financial Group. Get yourself a partner who's going to work very hard for you. The number is 612-504-8400. 612-504-8400. Call. Let them know you heard us here on the radio, that you'd like to come in, set up an appointment and chat. Talk about the goals that you have and the situation that you're in. Everybody's retirement is different. It's not like your neighbors. It's not like your dad's. It's not like your brother's. It's like yours. So 612-504-8400. Let the folks know that you heard us here on the radio and you'd like to set up a free appointment to come in and chat. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Social Security and some of the important things that you need to know as you get closer and closer to drawing those Social Security dollars. This is the Haven Financial Group radio show.